Desamor que me dando desda volver.
The lean is cool, and it's a gateway to many wonderful steps, and you'll see it a lot in performances, and we're going to break that down in this chapter.
When I first saw the lean, the teacher said, this is the fashion all over the tango world. It's what all the cool people are doing. And so I said, I don't have to be cool, and I sat down. Because there was no way I was going to lean my 1,000-pound weight on my poor leader. I wasn't going to inflict that on the leader. And this wonderful man, who weighed a lot more than I did, said, no, you don't understand. It's not hard at all. You just balance your weight with the other person. And you can both be totally relaxed, and it feels really good. And from that moment, I loved the lean, and I still love the lean.
It starts with a side step. Guys, you're going to hold her in and up, and then reach back with your right foot. One more time. As I step side, I step into her space, so we're body to body, so my body can support her. I hold in so that she knows she's safe, and I hold up so she knows not to take a step. I reach back with my foot, because that will be where we're going, not too big, and then I go to that foot, and that creates the lean. Point back, not too big. Now as I go to that foot, you have to push, push, push. Don't try to not lean, try to lean. And then as you go back, guys, you'll keep your chest very far forward, eventually freeing your other leg, so you can point. So now that we know how to get into the lean, let's work on getting out. But before that, once you're in the lean, take a moment and enjoy. And then to get out, just point the foot forward, stand her up, change weight. And then go on into whatever you like. Now half of the lean, maybe a third, is an illusion. So the point of my leg makes it look as if I'm more in a lean. And right now I'm on my heel, but if I shift to the ball of my foot, then this looks like I'm in a lean, even though I'm not, right? So we can have this amount of lean without actually any weight. And then when I shift my weight to my back foot, even that small amount, by having the weight on the ball of the foot and pointing with the other leg, it looks like we're in a decent-sized lean, even though we're actually in a lean that's that big, not very big at all. For the ladies, there's this instinct. I'm the lady, she's the guy. As the guys take you into a lean, you say to yourself, oh, I couldn't possibly inflict my weight on him. This is the word choice. And so as he says lean, you say, oh, I will, but I'll try to be really light, really, oh, don't lean, not my, and then you end up dancing like this. And yeah, no, we don't want that image. I mean, we do want that image, but not doing a lean. So, here, instead of putting the butt back, you almost do a small crunch in your abs, tucking your pelvis ever so slightly.
It's a big crunch in the abs.
Okay, or a big crunch. And then as the leader takes you back, you keep your body in a plank position, leaning towards him with your chest. And then that protects your low back, because there's an instinct to arch like this, right? So don't do this, just watch and gasp in horror. Step side left. We're here. And as she takes me back into the lean, go back. Ladies tend to do this. And that's very bad for your low back. You know, I'm going to do this only one take, and that's it. For the guys, as you go back, we spend literally weeks working with people on this, working with leaders on keeping their chest far enough forward.
Which is really important for the follower.
So a lot of guys do this. Sorry. And you notice that I'm completely straight and she's leaning. And that means she's doing all the work. She doesn't get the advantage of using weight. Instead, she has to use muscle. So as I back up, you will see that unlike just then, when I kept my back straight, here I'm very much leaning towards her as well.
And therefore it can be really relaxed.
And for both people, it's true. If you're not leaning enough, then what happens is all of the muscles tighten. For the followers, if she's not leaning enough, she's like, oh, I can't lean, and all the muscles tightening. Whereas if she just pushed forward, it would be very easy for her. Keep pushing. For the leaders, if you're leaning not enough, then you'll feel her tighten and you'll feel you'll need more muscle. If you lean more at her using weight, then it becomes much easier. If you lean too much, you know, and it tumbles over. So this one is self-correcting. But once again, for the leaders, keep your chest forward. Last two things. For the leaders, you really want to make her feel safe and comfortable. And if I ask her to do a lean and I'm holding her like this,
She's not going to go.
and I say, why don't you lean on me? And for some reason she doesn't. Right? Because there's this feeling, probably very well justified, that if I just barely hold the tips of her fingers, I can't support her. So I really gather around, in firmly and up. And while I don't try to squeeze the life from her, rah, I do have,
It's pretty strong.
yeah, it's pretty substantial. Now the other point I want to make is that it should feel comfortable when it's about weight. W-E-I-G-H-T. So if you imagine there's a light pole, and then there's a cool person leaning on the light pole with a hat. You don't imagine they're struggling terribly to stand up. And the question is, so I literally want you to at some point stop and lean against a wall or something and say, look how comfortable it is. And then I want you to ask, why does it have to be any different if you're leaning against another person? And the answer is it doesn't. And on that thought of, a gateway to many things, we can, for example, do stuff. Later chapters.